Actually, these reminders, this time, is not only just for this period, it is for the whole orientation in life. Because a new period of awakening consciousness is possible, needed, relevant. So it is in this context that we are having these reminders. It's a period where we can see the extremes more clearly, more close to each other, the polarities and the way life is in its raw. In the normal way of going, we are used to focus on that what is obvious, that what is visible, that what is apparent. But it is time and it is necessary that we bring our attention to that what is hidden, that what is behind, that what is invisible. Because then only we can also see the relevance and significance of all this initiative and effort which we have to make to bring clarity in our life and support the possibility of a healthy balance also for the life process on this planet. Like anything which is deep, it will not come to manifest unless you commit for it. In the deeper teachings, the commitment has been emphasized because they are aware that in us there are automatic, settled way of reacting going on, which pull us into the habitual patterns of reaction. We have other priorities there, other concepts, other beliefs which are dominating. And if we don't want to just repeat the past, we have to bring the attention to these things. We have to commit. And the commitment is not just to prove it to somebody else. It is a commitment of your heart. It's a commitment which has to come from your understanding. So it is not just to do something like a duty or a ritual or to prove something. It's not something for your image. There are two factors which are very, very important. The one factor is the nature of our reality. We are used to a way of going about life where we take everything for granted. And that is almost like a way a child is going about life. The parents are taking care, the others are there, and everything is working the way it has to work. So the child is not having to worry and to bother about all that. But then comes a period where the child has to become mature, start taking responsibilities, begin to understand how things are really working. How when we open the tap, the water is coming, that it is not just the tap, it's a whole background preparation. How when they are putting a card in the automat, the money is coming. There's a whole background aspect which has to be considered. How when you put on a switch and the light and all the things you can use are immediately starting to operate. In this sense, in a deeper level, we have to bring attention to the basis of life. We take the sunshine for granted. we take this gravitational force as granted. We take it for granted that when we put a seed on the ground and just give some water and some manure, that it becomes a plant, it becomes a tree and it bears fruits. And our attention is mainly on what we have done, what we have achieved, and how my crops, my plants are bringing these fruits. Is it not time that we really consider that all that what we are able to do in this life process is possible because there has been a great, unconceivable, deeply intelligent and caring attentiveness which has made it possible. How come this little seed is having so much potential in it, all the information? What a mystery, what a wonder. And then you start looking at every little detail of life. And that will enable us to realize that we are here because we are supported to be able to be here in this body, in this planet, with such a diversity, such a colorfulness, such a playful and celebratory way of manifestation. The more we consider it, the more we bring our attention deliberately to the roots of our reality, the basics, not only the tree which we see, but the roots which is undercurrently there. In this way, we have to bring our attention to the source, the creator, the creative process. And we as human beings have the capacity to question, to inquire, to come to a deeper insight and understanding of the nature of the reality. That is what will reveal to us what a wonder we are in. What a blessing it is to be able to be in this life process. And just again, to bring it to the very simple observation, which everybody can see and understand. There is nobody like you. Everybody is unique. That means nobody is here unwanted. Nobody is just here just by chance. And in the Upanishadic teachings there is a saying, even when a leaf of a grass is missing, the whole existence will thirst for it. It's a very valuable hint to make it conscious to us that all what is there in the manifest process of life has a significance, has a relevance. So when we are not going with our normal way of judging and categorizing and labeling, which is very practical for functional processes in certain sense, but that is preventing us to understand and experience the reality when we are limiting ourselves to that. So the first reminder is around this. Take every day, at least 5 times, some moments to consider the roots of life, the source of life, and how everything, including our body, including our capacities, what we have, it's all there because somebody had conceived of it. Now, when we see the scientific achievements and what all things are possible, what all things are happening, we are thinking that, we human beings are getting advanced, we are becoming more special. Yes, okay, that is one peripheral aspect of it. The fact is, it is all possible because the background work has been done for that. The vibrations can travel and reach here Because somebody has created that with that consideration. So the more you become consciously considerate of the nature of the reality, the more you become aware of the magnificence, the beauty, the ungraspable intelligence which is making it all possible. So take at least 5 times a day, few minutes, just to bring your attention to these factors. Because this is what makes the difference when we, through our consideration and understanding, recognize that in every area of life there is something sacred. There is something which is very, very deep. And when you realize it and when you feel the gratitude from your understanding of it, then it is not a concept of sacredness which you put from your head and prove to anybody, but it is something which you are feeling from the bottom of your heart. And that is very, very important. So this is one reminder I would recommend to everybody, whosoever is listening, whosoever is coming across this, who sincerely mean to understand and bring a healthy development in their life, to take this time to allow these root factors connected with the source and allow the sense of sacredness to become conscious to yourself. Why is it called sacred? It is not just something which we can, with our logical rationality, put it in some boxes and say we know it all. No, it is the mystery behind it, what we have to become aware of. As one of the old Beatle album was called, The Magical Mystery Tour. Yes, we are in this magical mystery tour. We are in this adventure of life. And the more you consider and it becomes conscious to you, the more the realization becomes what a blessedness it is. How blessed each of us are to be able to be in this life process and to be able to consider, to be able to go deeper into the understanding of it. So there's so much which you will become aware of and allow it. So this is the one reminder. And the second reminder is connected with this. It's just the practical implementation of it. And there are 3 aspects which I find is very important to also bring the attention and to go differently in our way of connecting. In our normal unconscious way of going, we are conditioned often to compete, to judge, to compare and push and prove that we are better than the other and all that. And that when we go blindly, it becomes sooner or later very destructive in many levels. We need to consciously bring an approach of cooperation, where we accept everybody as unique manifestation of the life process and try to understand and support each other. One thing connected with that is also very, very basic and important. I have been often mentioning about it also. That is, we are in unconscious way of going, following the approach of revenge, hatred, punishment. But the understanding which you will come across as you go deeper into yourself is that deep within everyone is divine. Now it may be looking so far-fetched for many. It's understandable. But when you go deeper into yourself and come to a direct experiential understanding of what you are, then you realize that that is the dimension of innocence. That is a dimension which is the basis in everyone. Why I am saying this is also because then you can see that basically everybody is godly, everybody is good. But in our development, in our misunderstanding, in our way of conditioning, in the circumstances we fall into, there are many misunderstandings, many one-sided way of perception, which form us into go about life in unsensible, uncreative, unloving, destructive ways. And that is a challenge. So when you really understand, you will see that there is no good guys and bad guys. Deep within everyone is good and godly. But those who have gone astray, those who have gone into the wrong direction, we don't need to punish them. Yes, we need to take care that they are not continuously going on in a destructive process. So we have to encounter it in an intelligent way, but not from wanting to take revenge, not from the approach of hatred. That is why when you want to really allow this, what I am indicating, to cooperate, then you have to consider compassionately everyone. So that is a second aspect of this part. Cooperate, consider compassionately. And the third part is when you really allow that, and you are not falling into competition and comparison and playing into power games, you start seeing the innocence, the helplessness, the vulnerability of everybody. Then you include and you celebrate. This is possible for humanity. And this starts on an individual level. When you start in your life to bring this quality of cooperation, considering compassionately each other, including yourself, and then life becomes a celebration. Then you are starting to experience the reality in a very different way. So the so-called paradise is not somewhere else. It is what we make of what has been made available to us. We have all that what is required to live a life of love, live a life of understanding and compassion, live a life where everybody is taken care. And this can be realized. So it is not just some utopia far away. It is something which can be realized. And if you are ready to look and consider and live it in your life, it becomes a transformative process in your life, and it becomes also a healthy basis for the whole society, for the whole humanity, and for all other living beings, because you see the innocence in all living beings. You see the beauty behind the diversity. So rather than trying to put it from the head and we have to be tolerant, we have to be good and all, which doesn't work unless it is confronted and cleared, because in our unconscious way of going, we have other priorities. But through conscious consideration, we don't fall into this trap of the automatism and the priorities which are there. Our new priority becomes cooperation. New priority becomes conscious consideration and compassion. And through that, you will realize that it is making you more and more light, more and more free. And celebration and joy happens spontaneously in your life. So every day, also 5 times a day, take time to consider and question your connection to everyone you meet in the life. If you are in the process of meeting somebody and you are able to consider that at that time, that is the most energetic and intense process. But afterwards also you can take time. What has been happening? What has been dragging you into uncreative, unloving, negative reactions? Inquire into yourself. Inquire your intentions and the priorities. And that will bring about a different quality of energetic process in you. Because then you will see that it is you who decide which direction you give to your life energy. Without your taking the responsibility in this way, the life energy is going automatically into certain patterns of reaction and you are being dragged here and there. And it's not fulfilling to you, it's not healthy for anybody in the long run. But when it becomes more conscious and you see that you are capable, without going into the approach of punishment, without wanting to condemn and punish and hurt anybody, through consideration, through understanding, connect to cooperate, and through this considering of each other compassionately, life becomes spontaneously a celebration, a life of joy. So this second reminder also 5 times a day at least you take deliberately, because without your inner commitment to it, without your decision to really bring it into life, the automatism drags you into the old priorities and you find that, oh, it's too much. And so you have to see that you need to create through your understanding a commitment and stay with it in a gentle but firm way. And I hope that all who are able to come across this, what we are considering now, are able to appreciate and apply it into the living, because this is the basis for a different way of manifesting in life. This is a basis for a humanity which is really human, creative, loving, joyous, and recognizing the sacredness of all life.